Let's then start a very important chapter, one of the most important chapters of your portion. Screen is not visible, no? Now visible? Screen is visible. Double taxation, avoidance, agreement. You can call it DTAA, double taxation avoidance agreement. Some places you can also refer to this as a treaty. In school history textbook they used to say a treaty signed between Shivaji Maharaj and another king, or a treaty signed between the prince of this territory and the prince of that territory. Treaty, double taxation avoidance treaty, or modern day terminology they also call it a convention. Whatever name you use, these are equal to signs, they are all same. Agreement, treaty, convention, they are only three different names of the same thing. And in institute study material, did I tell you, at least those students who follow this instruction, that please revise on a daily basis. Please do not wait for me to complete any chapter. Please do not wait for me to complete the entire portion for you to go and revise the individual chapter from ICAI study material. If at all your target is to score good marks in this subject, if at all you want to do better than others, then your only way out is you have to study on a daily basis. No other option. So in institute study material, you will find this chapter by the name of double taxation relief. Double taxation relief. Sir, is it a very big chapter? No sir, it will get over tomorrow. This is smaller than introduction. Sir, is it a very difficult chapter? What if I tell you, direct tax is not at all easy. It's a very difficult subject, one of the toughest subject to score marks. When we had a subject called ISCA, Information System Control and Audit, the good thing about ISCA was at least people knew that they don't know anything. They had at least this knowledge that okay, I don't know anything in this. I'm just going, writing and coming. In direct tax, people think that they know things. They think that what I have studied is correct. They go and write answer. They're very confident. I've written everything perfectly. But studying direct tax is like getting married. Every time you think you are right, you are wrong. She will find out some mistake. She who? Our mother body ICAI. Every time you think you are right, she will find out some mistake. That's direct tax for you. Okay. So direct tax is a difficult subject. But sir, the difficult things can be made very easy. It depends on who you learn it from. As simple as that. Okay. So I don't know what marks you will. So ultimately, see, if you don't follow my instructions, if you don't revise at the end of every class, if you are not regular in your study, if you don't do those 4 RTPs, you should be solving at least a couple of mock test papers before you actually go for your exam. If you don't do all the MCQs, for your benefit, I am going to be uploading the MCQ lectures on my channel. If you don't watch those lectures, there are going to be revision lectures also that will be uploaded. For general public viewing, it is uploaded. The whole world is taking benefit, and if you have enrolled in my class and you are not taking benefit, then again the joke is on you. Whole world is taking benefit. There are people who are watching those revision lectures because they were not comfortable with whatever coaching they took, and they are like, sir, my concept got clear with this revision lecture. Even in the full course of someone, I could not understand this. The other people are taking this benefit, and actually it is meant for you people. In the list of importance, you fall first. I respect every student, but of course priority I have to give to my students. No, you are the one who has to take the benefit. I can't come to your house and please watch. No, please. You watch it for your benefit. It can be made easy. If you follow my instructions, what marks you score, will change. So the marks will depend on your effort. But at the end of my portion, if you tell me, sir, I am now much more comfortable with direct tax. I used to dislike direct tax before, but I like it now. My concepts are a lot more clear now. In certain cases, I have had past students who went and told their employer, sir, I want to shift from audit to tax because now I like and I understand tax. Sometimes we don't like a subject only because we don't understand it. That's the reason. And now that I understand, I'm finding it very interesting. I have had those students also. And let me be honest, that is my achievement. The full credit of marks goes to the student. Of course, for marketing purposes, we use the marks of our past student. But that is how the profession works. Now, unless and until I show my past results, future batches will not have admissions. That is how the profession works. But I honestly admit, on record I admit, that full credit goes to the student. The professor is only a facilitator here. But if your perception towards my subject changes, then that is my real achievement. So is direct tax difficult? Well, wait and watch. Time will tell. We are done with one chapter. Time will tell. It depends on who you learn it from. As simple as that. This chapter is very small. Easy or difficult, that let's learn, then decide whether it is easy or difficult. But if I talk about importance, this is one of the most important chapters because it's a part of, first of all, your 30 marks international tax. No matter how much you hate taxation and you will do anything in this world, you will go for economic law or you will go for capital market, bloody hell, you might go for GFRS. People in our country are not understanding Ind AS, but you want to learn GFRS. But kuch bhi ho jaye, sir, anything happens, I am not going to take international tax. That option you have. But 30 marks international tax, you have to learn. Over there, you don't have an option. Let me be very clear. This is a part of that 30 marks. First thing. Second thing, everything that I am teaching you in this chapter, every word, word to word, word by word, copy paste in the study material of paper 6C elective. In elective paper international tax, out of 9 chapters, 7 are common with DT and this is one of those 7. If you observe some of the past exam question papers of international tax elective paper, word to word questions of this DTAA chapter are asked in paper 7 and paper 6 both. Word to word questions. So at least those students who may later want to continue after DT gets over for international tax. I am not going to do any kind of marketing. I have already told you there are 2 benefits which cannot be denied by anyone. The common thing in the portion, 7 chapters. So effort reduces substantially and paper 6 and 7 being back to back. Thus 100 marks paper, but yes, it will get over in 3 days only because only 2 chapters have to be taught. I have already told you the good things or the bad things. Enroll if you want to, don't enroll if you don't want to. I am the worst person on the planet when it comes to marketing. No paid subscribers, no paid views, nothing. I only focus on my quality work. But for some of y'all who may be interested in doing it, you have to learn this chapter from here itself for your elective paper also. The theory, the questions, everything. So some of y'all are definitely learning this subject for this chapter for 130 marks. Cut elective paper for the time being because some of y'all may be irritated, but we are not interested. Why have we even discussed? Chalo, let's focus on 30 marks. Let's focus on 30 marks. That is applicable to everyone. In that 30 marks, if you remember, 30% will go away in MCQs. We did that discussion in our introduction. 70-30 breakup. So how much is the subjective weightage of international tax? Approximately 20 we said. In that 20, if you remember, we kept a minimum target of 15. Remember the target? MCQ minimum 25, PGBP minimum 12 and international tax minimum 15. And all this was minimum. MCQ can go up to 30, PGBP can go up to 14 and this can go up to 18. Full 20 you won't get. You'll definitely lose 1 or 2 marks. Some of the chapters are very complicated anyways. This is very easy. And out of the 15 marks of minimum target, 6 to 8 marks you have to target here. 6 to 8 marks. 4 to 5 marks you will target in transfer pricing, and about another 3 to 4 marks from non-resident taxation. These three, DTAA, transfer pricing and non-resident taxation, together will make you achieve your target of 15 marks of international tax. That's my Pareto analysis. That is my Pareto analysis. What can bring maximum benefit? Followed? And thus, if you keep in mind your overall target, whether your target is 40, 50, exemption or mega exemption, in all that, this is important. And almost every attempt, hardly once in a while you will get any attempt where you won't find a question on DTAA. Otherwise, almost every attempt you will find a question on DTAA. So once in 2, 3 or 3, 4 attempts, there may not be a question, because if they want to ask a big question on non-resident taxation, say they want to ask 8 marks or 10 mark question on non-resident taxation, another about 4, 5 marks on transfer pricing, then the whole weightage gets over and they are not left with anything. So they may remove DTAA. Otherwise, 99.9% papers you will find DTAA in your exam. Paper 7 also and paper 6 also. I think I have had enough discussion about what is the importance of this chapter for exam purposes. Okay. Now, in ICAI study material, this chapter has been put by the name of double taxation relief, and we are calling it double taxation avoidance agreement. Agreement is also known by 2 more names. You know, Virat Kohli is also called Chiku, Hrithik Roshan is called Duggu, Kareena Kapoor is called Bebo. So likewise, agreement is also called treaty, convention. These are only 2 additional names. But before we go and understand anything about these treaties or conventions or agreements, before we go and learn anything about the avoidance, the relief from double taxation, the first thing that we will have to go and learn, what do you mean by, ladies and gentlemen, double taxation kya hai? What is this thing called double taxation? Unless and until you first learn the meaning of double taxation, you will not know what do you have to avoid. What do you have to provide relief from? Who will enter into an agreement from whom, with whom? These are all secondary matters. First matter or first step to learn this chapter is going to be to learn the meaning of double taxation. Without that, you can't go further. Without that, you cannot go further. So tell me, what do we have to learn first? What is the meaning of double taxation? Okay. And to teach you the meaning of double taxation, I will have to first teach you. Give it as many stars as you want. Fill up the full line with stars. In your international tax, both paper 7 and paper 6, this one concept which will come in every chapter, chapter after chapter, everywhere. If I start anything in international tax, first thing I will ask you this. This is one of the most important concepts of your entire portion. Please learn this, very easy, but learn this with full sincerity and full cooperation with me. Globally, wherever in the world there is income tax, you know, there are some countries which we called tax heaven countries. Ye gadeda, this tax heaven, not that heaven, not the Jannat, Swarg. No. Tax, whatever you may want to pronounce it as. I am talking about this countries which do not levy any income tax. UAE, Dubai, there is no income tax. They have oil wells. They sell oil to the whole world and make money with that. I think recently Dubai has introduced Dubai VAT, DVAT 5%, and that has made all the Dubai trips expensive. No problem. Indians are going to Maldives. Entire Corona period, Indians have gone to Maldives. And probably that is the only place which is allowing Indians. There are some countries which don't have any income tax. Ignore those countries. We are currently talking about countries which have income. A country like India. India has income tax. Thank God India has income tax. Okay. Today afternoon my family will get lunch because India has income tax. Think about it that way. Okay. Thank God India has income tax. Arey listen, don't laugh. In the next few months, after you become a CA, you will also get revenue because India has income tax. Okay. So listen. Whichever country levies income tax, globally there are two principles of levy of tax. If at all any country wants to levy income tax, there are two principles worldwide. Worldwide. Most important concept, huh? Don't be a copycat, focus on understanding first. If you understand, things will be very easy. I don't have an objection if you are copying simultaneously and you are making your handwritten book in class itself. I don't have any objection to that. Because I already told you I'm very poor at marketing. I cannot allow anybody to take notes. So my book will get sold. But that is not my intention. My intention is that you take down whatever you are comfortable with. Every lecture I am willing to stay back for 10 minutes only for giving you the notes. But not at the cost of losing your concentration from what I am speaking. Because primary objective is that. Making notes is secondary objective, and for that we keep 10 minutes every day. No? Primary objective is to focus on what is happening. Okay? So please focus, and without disturbing your focus, if you are copying, I have no objection. Globally, there are two principles of, some are like, Acha, no objection, chalo, start writing. That is more important. No objection if you don't lose your focus. Okay? Principle number 1, the principle of residence, and principle number 2, the principle of source. Not just in India, but across the country, across the world, across the globe, wherever there is income tax, two principles are followed. Principle of residence and principle of source. The country which follows the principle of residence is called the home country, and the country which follows the principle of source is called the host country. Principle of residence and principle of source. Now, I will help you with an example for better understanding purposes. So, if you have an example, you will actually understand what is happening here. Okay. Hi Shivam, good morning. If I ask you some personal questions, will you be offended or you will not mind participating? So if at all you have any objection, you can immediately interrupt, sir. This is too personal, don't ask please. Okay. But nothing so personal that you will find it difficult to answer. So Shivam, when is your attempt? May 22 or November 22? So May 22. I think there is no discomfort in answering a question like this now. But I'll keep myself to such questions. And when I'm talking to him, I'm not giving a private tuition. I am explaining to everyone. So some are like, Acha, he is talking to him. Okay, we can do something else and come back after. No. This is a part of my explanation. May 22. So Shivam, the results will be in July 22. Assuming there is no 4th wave or 5th wave and the exam happens in May. By the way, after Corona also, Institute has already taken 3 exams. So that stupidity if you have in mind, your exam will not take place. Exam will get postponed. Even if it gets postponed, it might get postponed by a month or so, but it will not get cancelled. Don't stay in that stupid impression, stupid notion. What students have been doing since the last couple of years, they have been assuming exam will not take place. Consequently, they are not enrolling for any class. And suddenly institute is saying we will take the exam. Now they are so close to the exam, they can neither complete their coaching nor they can do their self-study. Now they are running a Twitter campaign, postpone the exams. You did not study when you had the time and now you want exam postponement. I don't support any. I don't think you spent 5 years of your life in this course for postponement. Finish it, get done with it. And you are young enough, even if you contract the disease, you will come out of it. Okay, so you don't have to be worried. So May 22, let's assume exam as per schedule. July you have your results, and in the month of July 22, imagine CA Shivam Ketan. Just imagine that picture. Just imagine your social media. You'll change your names everywhere. On Instagram, you'll change your handle. On Twitter, everywhere you'll change your names. And of course, now you will be auctioned. 1, 2, 3, talk sold. Shivam, we are Marwadis. The auction is planned even before your results. Parents assume that if you have given exam, then of course you will clear. Even in CA they assume, of course you will clear, and they start preparing for the auction, because a child with a CA degree can be auctioned at a higher price. 1, 2, 3, talk sold. Supposingly, in the month of July is your result. So by October, November, you get married next year. And then you are going for a post-marriage picnic. In the month of, say, December, your post-marriage picnic. Where do you go? That season is not to go to the northern hemisphere because it's winter over there. So European countries are not the right time to go. I think that is the right time to go to countries like Australia, New Zealand, southern hemisphere, because it is the summer over there and that's the right time to go geographically. But supposingly today the choice is given to you. Which place will you choose? Today, if you have to, of course, you cannot alone decide which place has to be chosen. That cannot be your decision alone. But today I am giving you an option. Choose. Don't say that, sir, I'll go to Dombivali and come. Palava se. Tell me a foreign country. Argentina. A football fan. An Indian liking football is like a German liking Nag Panchami. There is no connection. But fair enough. Argentina. I think it's in, where is, I don't know my geography. I think it's in Africa, no? Africa near Brazil, no? South America. My geography, sorry, my geography is, see, poor guy, never gone abroad. My geography is very, very poor. Very poor. Okay, Argentina, no problem. Now, I don't even know where that country is. Of course, I don't know whether there is any income. Is there any income tax in Argentina?
I guess yes.
Let's assume there is income tax in Argentina. Let's assume. Okay. So, Mr. Shivam, a resident of India, you go to Argentina for your post-marriage picnic. And what happened was, the girl whom you got married to, you were not aware of that. Normal people eat food thrice, breakfast, lunch, dinner, maximum 4 times, evening snacks or tea or something like that. She eats 40 times in 24 hours. Every few minutes she is like, oh. Every few minutes she is like, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. And it's a newly married wife. You cannot even tell her that, bas yaar, enough. How much do you eat? Otherwise, when you return from Argentina, you will come alone. If you can't give a basic necessity like food to your newly married wife. So sometimes when we Indians go abroad, we carry extra bags of food. All that is over. Whatever cash you were carrying, all that is over. Every time you swipe your credit card over there, your family members get an SMS out here. Your card has been debited. Your card, they are getting heart attack. Your parents have blocked your card only. To hell with it. What nonsense is going on? Every few minutes, restaurant, what the hell is it doing over there? They have blocked your credit card also. Of course, newly qualified CA, you will not be eligible for a card. Banks see your past record. So that is why I took the name of parents. Otherwise, just imagine that your card is also blocked. So my point is, my story is, you don't have physical cash money. You don't have plastic money, digital money. You don't have anything. But your trip is still not over. And so is the hunger of your wife. Every few minutes, she wants food. Your return ticket is booked, because when people go, they book their return ticket and go. But you still have to spend a few days in that country. Now, how to survive? You take up a part-time job over there. Only so that you can earn so much that you can buy food for the day. So the whole story, cut the whole story from long to short. Mr. S because Shivam. Resident of which country? India. Has earned income in which country? And we are assuming that Argentina has income tax. Huh? Otherwise, I will have to change the country. So never correct me on this technical aspect. assuming that that country has income tax. That was his choice. I would have chosen probably any other country. Okay. So, Argentina. Income in that country. Correct? Now we will have to discuss this. Whether the income that you have earned in Argentina be taxable, whether it will be taxable in India, which is your home country. We have to discuss this and decide, is that income taxable in India? Why? You weren't there. And everybody has to answer this. This is a question for everyone. Is the income earned in Argentina taxable for Shivam in India? Yes. That day when you enter the first tax lecture of your life, when you stepped in that classroom, probably that chawal ka lota, you kicked it, background music was going on. First thing that you were taught in a tax class was a resident has to pay tax on global income. If you are a resident, a tax resident of India, you have to pay tax on income earned in India, and you have to also pay tax on income earned outside India. That is called the principle of residence. Global income of resident will be taxable. That means, can I say India, despite being the home country, is going to levy tax because of the principle of residence? And now let's talk about this side. Tell me, Shivam, which was the country where you earned that income? Will there be any income tax? We have assumed that that country is charging income tax. The question is, will this income be taxable? Arey, you are a resident here, you've gone for a temporary period over there. In that country, you are a non-resident. Still, because the source of income is that country. And whenever the land of any country has generated revenue for you, it is your responsibility to pay that land its share back before you come back. India does it. Think about it. Whenever a non-resident comes to India and earns income, do we take tax from non-residents at least on what they have earned in India, even if we don't tax their foreign income, because we don't have the statutory right to do so? Even if we don't tax their foreign income, at least their Indian income is taxable in India, no? That means, can I say any income earned in that country? That means, can I say you have your source in that country that will also levy tax? And this might result in something called short-term memory loss. Don't forget, I was here to teach you double taxation relief. Before relief, we have to learn what is double taxation. Otherwise, we cannot provide relief. How can we provide relief without knowing what is double taxation? And to teach you that, I started with this. This is the most important concept of international tax. Every chapter of international tax, I will be discussing this. Every chapter, right up to the end of your portion. Because, you know what? After finishing volume 3, there are 3 chapters that we have to do from ICAI study material. They are all 3 international tax chapters. In all those 3 chapters, this discussion will come. And immediately after that, we will do elective paper and complete the portion of elective paper. In every chapter of elective, this will come. Globally, there are 2 principles of levy of tax. Even if I ask you 1000 times, in your interest to participate and answer this in class, even if I ask you 1000 times, globally, there are 2 principles of levy of tax. That is principle of residence and principle of source. The principle of residence will be applied by the home country, and the principle of source will be applied by the host country. And this will result in double taxation, because it is possible that home country because of residence and host country because of source, both of them have taxed your same income. That is double taxation. I'll do that in writing. I'll do that definition of double taxation in writing. But currently the target is to make you understand this concept. Very small concept, but one of the most important concepts. Please tell me. You have to tell me, even if I ask you again and again. How many principles of levy of tax globally? 2. What are the 2 principles of levy of tax? Residence and source. Home country will be applying the principle of? Host country will be applying the principle of? Source. And that is how taxation is levied not just in India but across the globe. Whichever country levies income tax. We started our entire discussion on the assumption that the country is not a tax haven, that country is a country which levies income tax. We started by discussing that. Correct or no? Hello? Yes. So, globally there are 2 principles of levy of tax, resident and source. And because of this, how does double taxation arise? Let's understand. What is double taxation? And once you learn what is double taxation, you can actually go and learn how to provide relief against double taxation. Double taxation in income tax has been divided into 2 categories. There is something called juridical double taxation. Some authors, professional authors, also write jurisdictional double taxation. Juridical or jurisdictional. Which author's textbook we have to purchase? If you have extra money, I'll give you my bank details, Google Pay, Paytm, I accept everything. If you have a lot of extra money, no, give it to me. I am always short of it. Do not spend your funds in buying any additional textbook, because our textbook covers everything sufficient for an exemption. And so does our question answer book and our MCQ book. In case you want extra practice, the best place is ICAI RTP, which you don't have to buy. You can download from the website of ICAI. And those who want hard copy, let me remind you that you are also going to an office every day 10 to 6. So every time your boss goes to income tax, take 10 pages, 20. Don't take the full book together. Huh? Otherwise, there will be a lot of heat in the printer. He will come and find out. Some bosses also keep a track about the reduction in the number of pages in the printer. Okay. So 10 pages, 10 pages, 10 pages, 10. If the boss is on a holiday for 1 week, you print all the RTPs. You have a ready-made free printer available. Make most of your articleship. These are also things that you have to learn in articleship, not just how to take in green color. Okay. So listen. No need to spend anything except institute study material. Our book is covering everything, and as far as handwritten book is concerned, that also we are taking down the notes in class itself. Okay. So we have got something called juridical double taxation, and there is a second type of double taxation called economic double taxation. With obvious short forms, JDT, EDT, obviously. So I'll come back and revise that important concept which we have done above here. But for now, focus on this, please. What are the 2 types of double taxation that are given under income tax? Juridical double taxation and economic double taxation. Let's understand what is this. Same income will be taxed twice. When the same income gets taxed twice, is that double taxation? Very good. Same income taxed twice. Sir, what sir? Early in the morning you are irritating us. Tell me till now what is the difference between JDT and EDT? Apparently nothing. Same income tax twice, same income tax twice. Now comes the difference. Please pay attention. When the same income is getting taxed twice for the same person, then it will become a case of juridical double taxation. But when the same income is getting taxed twice for different persons, then it will become a case of economic double taxation. This is where the difference lies. Otherwise, do you understand this part is same here and here? The difference lies here. The difference lies here. So, if the double tax is taken from the same assessee, then it is which double taxation? And if they are two different people, then? Now, let me give you an example of both. Then you will understand both concepts perfectly, and it will also serve as a revision of what we have already studied here. Before I start my examples, you please tell me, now globally there are which two principles of levy of tax? What are those two principles? Source. Residence will be taken by the, applied by the, and source will be applied by the host country. Correct? Now let us understand what is double taxation with a couple of examples. Under juridical double taxation, try to recollect the story of Mr. Shivam. Everyone was interested in that story. Mr. S. Sir. You talk to us about anything other than taxation, anything other than studies. We are very much interested. You can extend the class up to 10:30, 11. We will tell our employer that today we have some work, so we will be late. Only for class extension, we have problems. Mr. Shivam. Resident of which country? India. And he had income in which country? We took example of Argentina. Let's take that. Assuming that Argentina has income tax. Example, the income earned out there is 100. See, obviously, first of all, he won't earn over there in rupees. What is the currency of Argentina? No idea. You want to go in that country, but you don't know the currency. Forget it. And of course, you won't earn in Indian currency, you will earn in the local currency. And plus, it won't be 100 rupees. It will be a higher amount. This is only an example. Only an example. The question is this 100 going to be taxable? Is this 100 going to be taxable in India? We have already discussed this. Tell me yes or no. Why? Because India is the home country and therefore applying the principle of residence. Some are not paying attention in class and doing a Google search currency of Argentina so that they can communicate it to me. But focus on your kaam dhanda. Peso, Argentina peso. Okay. Now you please pay attention. India will levy tax because India is the home country and India will apply the principle of residence. And now let's talk about, did you also Google whether there is income tax in Argentina? Sakali. Focus. Let's talk about Argentina. Will Argentina levy tax on this income? Yes, because it is the host country and it will apply the principle of source. Then do you realize whether the tax of India, let's take an example. See, if he has gone all the way to a foreign country for a picnic, that means of course he is a rich chartered accountant, and thus let's take an example. He falls in 30% tax bracket. But of course, we have studied the introduction chapter. We know what bracket applies to which assessee. We know there is surcharge and HSE. We are assuming that he is falling in 30% bracket in India and thus a basic tax of 30. That means the 100 rupees income that you have earned in Argentina will be taxable in India at a rate of 30. So Indian tax liability will be 30. And let's take an example that the income tax in that country is 40. Now do not argue with me with respect to this. Do not act like an auditor, sir. No, sir. Then Argentina income tax is only 25%. No. We are taking an example. Example, what is the income tax rate in Argentina? 40. Accordingly, do you understand, on this 100 rupees, he will have to pay 30 in India? and 40 in Argentina. India is the home country, principle of residence. Argentina is the host country, principle of source. Then let's understand this tax of 30 and this tax of 40. This 30 and this 40, is it being paid? My question, is it being paid on the same income? And is it being paid by the same person? When the same person on the same income is getting taxed twice, that will be called juridical double taxation. Whenever resident of one country has got income in another country, the home country will apply the principle of residence. The host country will apply the principle of source. And thus the same income will get taxed twice in both countries. And that will become which double taxation? Juridical double taxation. What is example of juridical double taxation? You can bring your camera near Shivam and take his picture. Example of juridical double taxation. Did you understand this example of what is juridical double taxation? And the definition also. So if I ask you definition, you will have to say, sir, what is the definition of juridical double taxation? Same person, same income, taxed twice. Say it with me. Same person, same income, getting taxed twice. Say it. Say it again. Say it again. That is juridical double taxation. So in all fairness, we should also do a small example of economic double taxation to get us or give us a clear picture, a clear idea of what exactly is the difference between them. At least definition wise, we know that same income will get taxed twice, but in the hands of different people. Let's take an example. ABC Limited has paid audit fees to its CA rupees 1 lakh. Very basic statement to understand. This statement does not require any explanation. Company has paid its auditor fees of 1 lakh. Stupid question I am asking you. Is this taxable for the CA? Is audit fees received by a chartered accountant is taxable income? If you are spending time in thinking, then I am waiting. Or if you are thinking that this is, you ask things which merit, which match our talent. If you ask such stupid questions, we will not answer only. Then tell me in advance, I won't ask only. CA has to pay tax. That means, can I say on 1 lakh rupees, one assessee has already paid tax? But a twist in the story is that this income was paid in cash. And I am not teaching you PGBP chapter. I am not teaching you. I am telling you that whenever you pay cash expense of more than 10,000, then that expense is going to be disallowed. In other words, in the PGBP computation of the company. Hello? 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 In the PGBP computation of the company will not get deduction of this amount paid. And that means, can I say this amount will be added back in the income of the company? And thus, the company has also paid tax on the same amount. Company has also paid tax on the same amount. Now, do you agree, realize and understand that this same income, see, CA has paid tax, that was very easy. You all understood how company paid tax? Because it did not get deduction of expense, it means that amount is lying in its income also. It should have been reduced, no? If one person is paying tax, that means for the other person you should reduce. But you did not reduce. As a punishment for cash expense. And thus, can I say 1 lakh? This 1 lakh, is it taxable for the CA? And also taxable for the company? So, can I say same income is getting taxed twice, but in the hands of different people? That will be a case of economic double taxation. So, when the same person pays both taxes, it will become juridical, and when different people pay the two taxes, it will become economic double taxation. Have you understood this? And of course, if you have understood the meaning of both juridical and economic, then that is the meaning of double taxation. And now how to give relief is our next stage, our next step. Obviously, we will be continuing in the next class.